I want you to start thinking of anticipating the objections. Okay, because why do we do this now? That's kind of near the end. You know, you get to the end of the sales conversation, then you're like, would you like to sign on the dotted line and buy from me? And they're like, but wait, I don't have the money. I'd rather hit those objections up front before they even say I don't have the money. I'm anticipating it and telling a story so that they don't give me that objection. If they do, I still got that script for later, but ideally I'm anticipating it up front. And you can do more advanced things like, you said, like a questionnaire, like I do a pre-qualification questionnaire, and I already know some of their objections based on what they say, so I can know what stories to tell. It's really cool. Okay, so you don't have to go super in depth because you'll learn how to tell the stories better with his system. But right now I just want you to start to capture, if you go to page 10, I'm going to start to capture these stories, okay? So here are some tips, first of all. And I'm still trying to get better and better at this. Okay, so for storytelling, first of all, you want to tell only the relevant parts, okay? This is my hardest, this is like the biggest challenge for me, is that I have all these details. I'm a girl and I just start telling all these details, and then the audience is like, whoop-de-whoop-de-woo, where are you going with that? I don't know what to believe, because the whole purpose of telling a story is to get them to believe something. And so if I go off on some tangent that has nothing to do with anything, they're like super confused. But you want to be very clear about what are the relevant parts. So you got to kind of think about it. This is not just like off the cuff. You want to think about, okay, and like I'll give you a little bit of a framework for it as well, but you think about like, where were they before? What have they been going through, and where are they now? Because that's the transformation you want people to see, that they know that other people are getting those results, okay? Number 2 is to actually tell a story like you're telling a kid, you know? Like to not just use like the same range the whole time, but actually make it alive for them. You can drive them into a new world to entrance them so that they start to think, oh, that's what I was, that's what I went through. Or maybe, what was my life like, when I was a little girl, or did I go try to be discovered, or whatever it was in the story. And it takes you there so that you can stop worrying about like being in that fear zone and get out back into that love zone so that you can have what you want, right? Okay, so then 3 and 4 is basically just kind of like the tips on, well, how you tell the story. So you want to be specific about the before, how they felt before, and you want to definitely use the emotions, and then be specific about after. What's one objection, like especially the objection you get the most? Who has one they get the most often? Dan? Price. Okay, perfect. The objection is price, meaning it's too expensive, yes? Okay, cool. I love reframing the price because, of course, like we can say the same thing about my coach was too expensive, but I went to 2 or 3 other coaches before him who, even though they cost less money, it was way more expensive because I didn't get the result. I had to pay money out and got no result. Does that make sense? Versus I paid a lot more to my coach, but then I made $100,000. It actually wasn't expensive, it was free. Your objection is that it's too expensive. Can you think of a client, well, like you have a client write that $1 billion story, right? That would be a story that you want to put in there where she basically helps someone, she does presentation skills, she helps someone present better so that they basically scored $1 billion into the company, right? All you need to know is it ended up being a $1 billion success story. So if you charge pretty much anything less than $1 billion, it was not expensive. If you charge $1 million to get someone a $1 billion result, is it expensive? No. It's a risk, but is it expensive? No, it's actually not.